Today, I wish to bring to your attention to a new Banknotes series video. Presented in this series will be 3 banknotes and 1 banknote leaflet during Saddam Hussein's reign in Iraq. In the first half, I will talk about why the 25 dinar note, as pictured here, and other previous 25 dinar notes, was suddenly replaced in 1993. The next half will cover the unusual 10,000 dinar note issued under Saddam Hussein's Iraq in 2002. For now, let's go back to the 25 dinar note. The first type of this note was issued in 1986. The note has a multicolor underprint, with charging horsemen as the background on the obverse of this note, in addition with Saddam in military dress appearing on the right side. At the reverse of this note is a martyr's monument, in addition with a city gate at the left side. This note has silk threads, a security thread, U ultraviolet print consisting of Arabic 2s in yellow, and a watermark with Saddam's image. Such a note had an interesting design, and what really stands out is the colorful underprint in contrast with the background image and the gray portrait of Saddam. At the same time, it had incorporated relatively good security features. But that didn't stop it or the other previously issued 25 dinar notes from being made non-legal tender in the summer of 1993. This begs the question, why was it suddenly demonetized without prior announcement? Was Saddam mad, or was it for practical reasons that were never explained? No one really knows, but a clue comes from the hardships Iraq faced in the 90s. Along with Iraq being the losing party during the Gulf War, many propaganda leaflets in the form of altered 25 dinar notes were dropped over the combat zones, like this one. Such leaflets would usually demoralize Iraqi citizens or soldiers who would come across them as instead of money, they encountered leaflets of safe conduct or how they would lose and should give up without a fight, which only exacerbated the situation for the Iraqis. For this would make sense as to why the notes should have been demonetized. An emergency 25 dinar note printed during 1990 circulated with the rest of the issued 25 dinar notes at the time, which disproves this as the sole factor, but rather a contributory one. Another factor to consider would have also been the 1993 cruise missile attacks on Iraq by the United States.
I ordered our forces to launch a cruise missile attack on the Iraqi Intelligence Service's principal command and control facility in Baghdad.
Given that Iraq still had fresh memories of war following the Gulf War, and how the United States had information on Iraqi currency designs, the sudden demonetization of the 25 dinar note would have made sense, as such attacks, which could have been a sign of invasion, and the reminder of the propaganda leaflets would have made sense ago to replace the 25 dinar notes. Yet, it doesn't explain why the replacement note had the same design as the 1978/1980 25 dinar note, where the only difference was printing quality. In the end, there is no probable answer, but just theories to consider. Now on to the unusual 10,000 dinar note issued in 2002. This note was the highest denominated note issued under Saddam's rule in Iraq, but like the many issued from 1990 onwards were of poor quality, evident by the lack of detail in the geometric reliefs. Still, that isn't to say that it lacked a unique design. For instance, the obverse of the note shows the tomb of the unknown soldier in the background, with a portrait of Saddam Hussein on the right in a Western suit. The reverse of this note depicts Al-Mustansiriya University in Baghdad, the capital of Iraq, and an Arabic astrolabe on the right-hand side. Now, an astrolabe is sort of like, if I remember correctly, an early navigational tool, which could tell the position of the moon, the stars, sun, I believe, and you could use that to gauge the distance of where you were and how far you were from a certain location, normally used on boats back in that time. Now, the note overall has a pink underprint with traces of green. However, it is not the design which is most striking, but the inclusion of security features on the note absent on other emergency issued Iraqi dinar notes, such as a watermark, security thread, and most importantly, a foil imprint on the right-hand side of the note, observable on the obverse. While it is easy to dismiss it as a practical choice, given its relatively high value at the time in 2002, The inclusion of a foil imprint on a note is considerably expensive and complex, which can only make one ask, why wasn't the way the note was printed improved? Why include such a complex security feature on a poorly printed note? It is hard to say what the motivations were like at the time, but considering that Iraq's printing capabilities had not improved since the 90s, one could theorize that it was done in a last-ditch attempt to make the notes appealing, for this would have mattered little in a battered Iraq due to sanctions against it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed this series.